Hi, this is Brian JC. Welcome back. I'm very privileged and honored to have you here. Decided to come outside. It's a beautiful day and just wanted to get out of the office a little bit. But I'm very thankful that you stopped by to visit, and I'm hoping that you caught last week's video. If not, there's a link down below. You can also subscribe, like, as well as hit the notification bell, so in upcoming offerings you'll be able to get notified and know when they're there. But if you missed that first vid last week where we talked about why you're here, you can catch it right there. This week we're going to be looking at how do we amplify our lives, and the first step, question number 2. First question is, why are you here? Second question is finding your answers to where you're going and how you're going to get there. It's a very important question, but let's break it down. Find your answers. Are you not sick and tired, as I am, of everybody else having an answer for your life? An answer for the next step you're supposed to take, an answer for how you're supposed to live, what you're supposed to eat, the way you're supposed to dress, how you're supposed to look. Everybody has an answer. It's just a bunch of noise all around us all the time. Miguel Ruiz wrote a book called The Four Agreements, and in that book he sort of outlined what that's called, and he called it domestication. That is, even as young children, we're taught to not say certain words, to grow up in a certain tradition, or to have a certain outlook on life. He called it domestication. And so even then, we make those agreements. We agree that that is the way that we're going to do, and we agree and say, I'm not going to use those words anymore. And in doing so, we make these agreements. Sometimes they're subtle. Sometimes they're much more bold. The good news is, and when we really want to pursue freedom, when we really want to find our answers, we can undo those old agreements and we can make new ones. One man has said, how are you going to arrive at your destination by following someone else's path? Well, you simply can't. If you follow somebody else's answers to your next step, if you follow someone else's answers to your path, you're going to arrive at their destination, not yours. Only you can unlock the answers to your next steps in your path, so you arrive at your destination. Another man has said, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I acted as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Can I challenge you? Can I challenge you this week? Let's all try as best we can to find our own answers and arrive at our destination by taking our steps. Small steps as they may be, they're ours, and we own them. It's the only way that we're going to take back, reclaim, and establish our authority in life. Otherwise, you're just following somebody else's path. And I want you to find your answers to your path. Second thing we need to look at. Where are you going? Not only do you need to find your answers, but you need to know where you're going. Now, this can be a little tricky because we can fall into the trap of trying to be too specific on exactly where we want to go. And what happens is we manufacture a false destination, one that, especially if we haven't found our own answers for our next step, and we're living by someone else's answers for our next step in our path, what happens is the destinations that we're looking at are really someone else's. And so we don't want to be too specific at this point about our destination. We need to have a general understanding. I'd like to go into healthcare. I really enjoy working with older people. I really love being around kids. I love the ocean. I like the mountains. I like being outside, or I prefer to be inside. I love being at a computer. I love numbers or math. Because what's most important isn't that you have the exact layout of all the possibilities. We don't have the exact layout of exactly what your destination is going to be. That way, you can just focus on the next few steps. So basically, you don't have to hit the bullseye of the target. You just need to know what you're aiming at. That's all. So finding that destination out of your passion, once you've gotten your authority back and you're finding your answers to life and to the next steps that you're going to take, then begin to focus on, in general, what are you aiming at? What direction do you want to head? And then, when you have a destination in mind, how are you going to get there? Pretty simple. You just write out a plan. That's it. Have a plan. Now, if you have found your answers, and they're really yours, and you have begun to understand what your destination is, and sometimes that can be difficult, you need to make a plan. Now, I would encourage you to find a quiet place, a place of peace, a place that's unique to you, a place where you feel safe, when you feel comfort, a place that you really feel connected, a place where you can truly listen to your voice and hear your voice, that still small voice that speaks within you. Now, it may have been a long time since you've heard your voice with all the voices around us, but I want you to find a place that is true for you, that's peaceful, it's a place of comfort, you feel safe. Begin to listen to your heart. And what will happen is, those next steps, maybe not the whole plan, maybe not from this point all the way to the end of your life, but at least the next few steps will begin to rise up. And the more that you begin to practice this, the more that you pause in your life to listen to your heart, and you shut out all the other voices, and you begin to hear your voice. No one but you has your voice. You alone. And you hear your voice, it will begin to arise like a volcano ready to explode. And you will begin to see your next steps as you make out your plan. So I want to encourage you this week. Question number 2. find your answers to your destination, and then figure out, make a plan on how you're going to get there. Listen to your voice. Listen to your heart. Make a plan and amplify your life. Hey, this is Brian J.C. Thank you for being with me this week. I hope you've been encouraged. I know I have. It's great to see you again. If you would, hit subscribe down at the bottom, as well as hit like if you enjoyed our time together today. And we'll see you next time. Blessings.